I'm Flash, and we're at it again. It's La Liga action, and it's week 4. Unbelievable weekend for all of us. La Liga Lowdown, represented by Paco. Martin Green with his banker. My banker at -1, which was obviously Sociedad. And the parlay came in as well. And La Liga, they're propping up all of our records elsewhere because it's been such a tough time. In La Liga, we've absolutely smashing it. Now, if you like this video, which you should do, this is the best video. So make sure you tell all your friends, because otherwise you're cheating them. You're keeping it to yourself. Now, press the subscribe button and ring the bell. That means that we'll notify you and you'll never miss any content again. Also, if you press the link in the description, that'll take you over to the articles. I'm sure that Martin's giving you winners over there, as has Alex, Tan and Dave. Now, week 4, midweek action, a massive bonus. Atletico Madrid, normally just under 2.5, win 1-0. Not no more. He played them all. Costa, Suarez, Felix, and they smashed home 6. I've got Martin Green, and I've got Euan McTear from La Liga Lowdown. Gentlemen, I hope you had a great weekend. I'll come to you first, Martin. We smashed it.
Yeah, had a great weekend watching La Liga, much more so than the Premier League, to be honest. A lot of results went the way we expected, which was great to see. Phenomenal performance from Atletico Madrid. Like you said, what a blistering way to start the new season. Suarez came off the bench, teed up a goal within a couple of minutes of coming on, and then scored twice, which was incredible, really. It's going to be real good competition for places up front for Atletico this season. And yeah, the classic bet has always been Atletico and unders, but I'm thinking we're going to have to go for Atletico and at least over 1.5 goals in the weeks ahead, just because they seem to be playing with a bit more ambition at the moment, but still pretty solid at the back. So I think they've got a good chance this season.
Yeah, without a doubt. And there's the big one, though, Euan, because we had Paco on the other day and he dropped the bombshell that it may be they're not finished with their spending, Atletico, because Cavani's waiting in the wings.
Yeah, they'd love to do that, pair Suarez with Cavani. What a partnership that's been for Uruguay down the years. Could you imagine that up front for Atletico? They love a Uruguayan Atletico as well, don't they? A tough Uruguayan. Imagine having them up front. Maybe we'd have to go over Atletico and over ridiculous numbers in the future. But it is just one game. Let's wait and see if they revert back to Atletico ways. But yeah, really entertaining start for the Atletico fans. Just a shame there was no fans in the stadium, because that was a gloriously sunny Sunday afternoon. Could you imagine the Atletico fans coming out of that one after seeing their team score 6? It normally takes them about 2 months to score 6. They did it in 90 minutes.
Yeah, and that's what we always say. We normally go, just make sure you just go Atletico Madrid and under 3.5, under 4.5. You cash every week. But with this firepower, what it now does is competition for places. You can't be messing about, because you'll be off or you'll be out, and that's always good. But he plays Felix as well, and you know my thoughts on Felix. I think he's an absolute star. Fabian, can we have a little look at the records, because it's good reading, unlike the other leagues. Here we go. Martin, 15 units, 7 wins, 6 losses, plus 3.53, which is always nice. La Liga Lowdown at 9, 3, 4 and up 1.27. Flashman 9, 3, 4 plus 3.95, and the parlay took us from -1. They paid 242, so the total is 10.17 units of profit, which after week 3 we'll definitely settle for. Let's kick straight on. Okay, we're going to start with you, Euan. We've got Bilbao at -135, draw plus 290, and Cadiz at plus 450. Bilbao, don't complicate it.
Yeah, absolutely not. Just keep it simple. I think Athletic Club, I really like them going into this game, partly because I've not been impressed by what I've seen from Cadiz so far. One of the newly promoted teams, of course, and they've got a win to their name. They beat Huesca, another newly promoted side, but they weren't actually the better team in that game. So not really been impressed by Cadiz. They're still trying to build their squad, whereas Athletic, they've got their squad built. They've got, of course, that Basque-only policy, which means that pretty much every summer it doesn't change much, and that continuity can sometimes give you an advantage, especially in those first few weeks of the season. So first home game for Athletic of the season at San Mamés. No fans, of course, but they're always quite strong at home. Cadiz travelling the other side of the country. This might be their furthest away trip to the other side of Spain, all the way up to Bilbao. So keep it simple. I really like Athletic Club in this one, just to go out there and get the win against, in my view, pretty weak Cadiz side.
Would you say that Bilbao scored 2?
It could do, because when they do get one, they can open it up. The problem they have sometimes is getting that first goal. But if they get that first goal, sometimes they do get 2, 3 or 4. So Cadiz have been conceding a few goals early on in their games. So maybe once again, Athletic get an early one, and then Cadiz come out, open it up a bit, and then Iñaki Williams with that pace, maybe he runs in behind and puts that second one in.
Yeah, Martin, they went to pieces like a jigsaw in the box yesterday, late on against Sevilla, which I was over the moon for, because I had Sevilla in so many different angles. Bilbao at minus 135, so we're probably looking around maybe minus 110 or maybe just plus 100 for Bilbao and over 1.5.
Yeah, it looks like an interesting one, Flash. Disappointing result for Cadiz in the end. I mean, they held on pretty well for a large part of the game. But yeah, I was also delighted with the result. I had Sevilla in under 4.5 goals. So by the end, I was just hoping that they didn't get a fifth towards the end. All came in, all good. Yeah, I also think that Athletic Bilbao can win this one. I think Cadiz expended a lot of effort in that game, whereas it was a morale-boosting victory in the local derby for Athletic last time out. I did fancy them to have a bit of a poor start to the season due to the lack of new arrivals, but once they get into the swing of things, they're a good, solid side, lots of experienced players. I think they should be too strong for Cadiz in this game as well, so I would go for the home win too.
Yeah, I just don't like Bilbao on the road at the moment, to be honest, because they're not scoring enough goals. But against this Cadiz side, and they did get run around yesterday, and they fell to pieces late on. So it looks like being Athletic Club. I like Athletic Club. I'm going to start calling them Athletic Club rather than Bilbao. So it looks like a home win there. Now, don't think this is a home win. Celta Vigo at plus 500, draw plus 325, and Martin, Barcelona minus 170. Some might look and go, oh, they've just scored 4, cruised through the game. Minus 170 is another one you don't complicate.
No, I was going to leave Barcelona out of it before I watched that first half against Villarreal. I think we refer to that as an Unai Emery special. Very, very easy goals for them. The own goal was just dreadful. And the defence looked half asleep. But credit to Barcelona. First game of the season for them. And they started, really up-tempo. Ansu Fati looked in terrific form. I think he's going to play a key role for them this season if he can nail down a starting berth. The other players all sort of drift into the same space: Griezmann, Messi, Coutinho. But if he can bomb on down the channel, I think they've got a good chance going forward. And didn't see very much from that Villarreal defence. Celta Vigo are they're a bit more solid, actually, which you wouldn't have expected from Celta Vigo. But I thought they've looked reasonably well drilled at the back this season. Unbeaten so far, not a bad start to the season for them. With Aspa up front, I think they've always got a chance in every game. So I think they'll avoid a relegation battle this time around, maybe be comfortable mid-table sort of team. But yeah, just the way that Barcelona played in that game, I would fancy them to get the job done, going with a lot of momentum to this one. So I'd be looking at Barcelona and just over 1.5 goals for a bit more value.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go. Barcelona and over 1.5. Now, remember, you're our third guest in the chat. You must be absolutely buzzing if you're a regular member or a regular viewer of this La Liga show. So make sure you get your selections in and your good stories from over the weekend, because there was plenty of them. Euan, Barcelona and over 1.5 seems the way to go. Do you trust them?
Not really at this stadium, because when they go to Vigo, they often struggle. They've not won there since 2015. Their last 6 trips up to Vigo, 3 draws, 3 defeats. So I'm just not too sure about Barcelona, because do you remember we were on this very show towards the end of last season, and Barcelona had that 4-1 win over Villarreal, and we were raving about them.Maybe Barcelona can catch up with Real Madrid. And then the Jenga tower just came all crashing down after that. And I think we realised maybe Villarreal is a kind of team that suits Barcelona. They have lots of attacking players. They throw them all forward and leave space in behind. So I'm not going to draw too much away from that Villarreal game. And I am going to draw a lot away from Barcelona's record up there in Vigo. Like I said, 3 draws, 3 defeats for Barcelona in their last 6 visits. There's often a lot of goals there, so that's why I'm going to go for both teams to score in this one. I'm not sure if I trust Barcelona for the win, though, but I think we're going to get goals in this one, the last fixture of this round.
both teams to score. Don't care who wins as long as they both score. Now, Eibar at plus 110, the draw plus 230. Now, I wrote down Elche because obviously I had to do this on Friday, so we got all the graphics in, at plus 295. They are now at plus 425 in the place, but regular, around the 410, plus 410, 415. I might as well come to you first, Euan, because Eibar are your team and Elche are the newcomers, and this is the value with the away side.
Yeah, and I'm going to be putting something on Elche for this one because, just like you say, the value, I think, is there. Are Elche the favourites for this game? No, they're probably not. They're the newly promoted side. But I think the value in this is all off. They lost 3-0 their first game of the season against Real Sociedad. But I think that's a really short sample size. And also, they were actually not too bad in that game. If you've not seen it yet, go and look out the highlights of this one because Real Sociedad goalkeeper Alex Ramiro, he makes 2 save of the season contenders against Elche. 2 really, really good saves on the goal line. I don't actually know if he meant both of them. They both sort of just hit him, but really good saves from them. It could have been a very different game. Elche are still getting their feet under them because, of course, they only knew they were promoted back on August 23rd. The coach wasn't even registered in time to be in the dugout for that game. The new coach, Jorge Almiron, he should be in the dugout this time around. And I've just not been convinced by Eibar. They're all about the fullbacks, and this year they just don't have any good ones. So I'm going to put a little something on Elche because I think the value there is tremendous.
There's great value probably if you want to go double chance as well. I think the bet here, maybe both teams to score no. And also, what about under 1.5 goals? Martin, I was happy with Sociedad at the weekend. It was my banker in La Liga at -1. But yes, they were fortunate to come away with a clean sheet. But listen, we don't mind that because I had made so much money in La Liga. I just picked it up and I gave it to the Premier League and Bundesliga.
Yeah, I was pleased to see Real Sociedad wear them down towards the end of the game. Elche did put up a really brave fight, and they looked pretty solid, especially in the first half. But ultimately, the quality of Sociedad shone through. I don't think Eibar are at the same level at all as Real Sociedad, so I'm not going to be opposing Elche in this one. I'm going to be betting against them quite a lot this season, and I do think they're going to struggle due to the lack of financial firepower. Just, a team that finished 6th in Segunda Division last season haven't made too many exciting signings that make me think they're going to stay up. I can see them finishing bottom of the table, to be honest, but I'm not convinced by this Eibar side either yet. So it could be a boring draw, maybe this one. So I'm leaving it well alone.
Yeah, maybe both teams to score no, and also maybe under 1.5 goals with one of the sides. So listen, they're both goal shy, so I wouldn't go all in on the old Alex Classic or over 2.5. Now, this next game could be absolutely anything. We like both of these sides. Getafe at plus 130, Martin. Draw plus 220, and Betis at plus 250.
Yeah, definitely like both of these sides. Already had a bit of profit out of Getafe so far this season. Made a strong start to the campaign, which I expected them to do, to be fair, now that they've got a regular schedule again. They're pretty solid at the back, got some dangerous forwards. Felt really sorry for Real Betis at the weekend. They looked like they were going to get 3 points from that game. Man sent off, and then Real Madrid just finally ground them down. That could leave them a little bit dejected, a little bit demoralised as they head into this game. They're probably a bit tired as well. I think they did expend a lot of effort in chasing the ball in the dying stages of the game. So I think I would often look at both teams to score with Betis, and I think we're going to get both teams scoring in this one. Getafe are a strong team at the back, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to repel Betis for 90 minutes. And I fancy them to concede as well. So both teams to score for me.
Yeah, that surprised us at the weekend, but the shrewd man, the accountant, Martin Green, he went with Getafe, draw no bet. And obviously it came up 0-0. The rest of us looked at Getafe at plus 150 and we dived in. Probably one of my only losers, Euan. Getafe and Betis, it looks like goals.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, the only thing is Getafe do have a tendency to get clean sheets and to do it at home. They can concede. They do concede. But when they're at home, they tend to be that little bit better. I don't know. It's a really interesting one. One matchup to really look out for in this one is the right back of Betis against the left wing of Getafe because, as Martin mentioned, Emerson got himself sent off against Real Madrid. He's suspended now, and they have two backup right-backs in the squad at Betis. They were very prepared, but they're both out as well. One's injured, one has the coronavirus. So this one, Getafe, their best player is Marc Cucurella. Without a doubt, he's their star man, and he plays left wing. So I think they're going to get some joy down that side. I'm going to be watching that battle there. And yeah, maybe Getafe get a couple of goals there. If I'm picking a winner, I think I'm leaning with Getafe for this one. But as we're saying, both teams to score is another interesting one for this matchup.
Yeah, Getafe at plus money again at home, though. It might suck a few in, to be fair. I certainly couldn't put you off it because we love Getafe and they actually do the job more often than not. Now, in the chat, Josie Gomez says, Augsburg stole all of Flash's money that he made in La Liga. It wasn't just Augsburg. Hoffenheim, West Brom, Leicester. Honestly, and Roma killed me as well. So listen, if it weren't for La Liga, I'd be under the table now, begging. Flash, can you give an 8-team parlay of over 2.5 goals? What do I look like? I've got a crystal ball because 8-team at this stage of the season, you are absolutely bonkers because I'm happy just to get 1 or 2 winners. Betis to score, Electro Gaming says, I think is good at 1.48. Is that plus 1.4? No, come on. -1, that'd be like -210. Okay, let's move on. Here's my banker. I'm going Euan, Madrid -350. That's not my banker, obviously. Draw plus 500 and Valladolid at plus 1100. Madrid win to nil at plus 100. Not complicating it.
No, exactly. When you look at the profiles of these teams, it's Valladolid. They don't score many goals. Real Madrid, you expect them to win. First home game of the season. Remember how strong they were playing. Of course, they're not playing at the Bernabeu just now because they're doing work on the stadium. They're playing at their training ground in Valdebebas. And how many games did we see towards the end of last season down the stretch, them playing there in their training ground and winning to nil? So I think you're right, don't overcomplicate it. They have struggled a little bit against Valladolid in the last couple of years since Valladolid came up 2 years ago. Real Madrid have won 3 and drawn 1 in that time, but it's often been difficult. They've needed a bit of luck along the way, but yeah, I think Valladolid are so-so. I think they'll be solid mid-table team, but going away to Real Madrid, I think this is where Real Madrid finally sort of get started with their season. They were lucky against Betis. I think this one's a bit more comfortable. A win to nil seems a good one to me.
Yeah, Martin, I think Valladolid, they're not going to go to Madrid and try and play an expansive game because they'll find themselves 2 or 3 down very early. They're going to play like Valladolid do. They're solid and they'll say, break me down, and they'll try and stay in the game as long as possible.
Yeah, I like that bet actually, Flash. I didn't see that one, but that's a good one you found there. Real Madrid a bit of a slow and shaky start to the season, so I've been kind of avoiding them after that draw that they had. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Valladolid at all. The way they play, it's like I think I said before, it's like Atletico Madrid without the dangerous strikers. So it's pretty turgid viewing experience a lot of the time, sadly. Yeah, I do expect them to sit back, try to soak up a lot of pressure, but you would expect the Real Madrid quality to shine through eventually. Yeah, sounds like a good one to me. 2-0, 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, something like that to Real Madrid. Good one.
Yeah, and if it's only 1-0, don't worry. Ramos will pop up with a penalty in the 88th minute or a header from a corner or something like that. Now, there's another game I liked. My God, it's 2-2. It's Sociedad at -125, the draw at +275, and Valencia at +375. I like Sociedad at home because I've still got the memories of how well they did in the first 4 or 5 months of the season last year, scoring goals, winning games, and being very comfortable. I'm just hoping that the ugly side of Sociedad when they came back after the break doesn't rear its ugly head, Martin.
Yeah, I've got Sociedad down to have a really good season this time around. I think David Silva's a fantastic signing for them, more than makes up for the loss of Martin Odegaard. The season was thrown into chaos, their preparations, by the coronavirus outbreak, but they got all their key players back now, and it was really exciting to see Silva alongside Marino, Porto, Oyarzábal. They look very, very good going forwards. Elche held on, kept them quite quiet in the first half, but ultimately you did feel that their quality was going to open up that defence, and it did. Against Valencia, I'd expect them to win this game. It's a horrible, horrible summer for Valencia. Put their whole squad up for sale, lost several key players. I know they've taken 4 points from 3 games so far, but performance levels haven't been great, and it's looking like it's going to be a long old season for Valencia. You would really have to expect that Sociedad finish comfortably ahead of them in the table this season. So at home, at those odds, I'm definitely going for Real Sociedad.
Okay, well, I've got Real Sociedad to win and over 1.5. I think this could be an Alex classic. I think maybe Sociedad to win and both teams to score. And someone else is as well. Yeah, Jack Meek, he's on my wavelength because he thinks that Madrid win to 0 and Madrid to score in both halves or win both halves, Euan. So Sociedad to win and Sociedad to win and over 1.5.
Yeah, I really like them as well. I think you had some joy flash at the weekend with Real Sociedad -1. It was against the weak Elche side, but to be honest, this Valencia side might be just as weak as Elche, don't tell Paco, but they were absolutely atrocious against Huesca, a newly promoted side. It was 1-1, but Huesca should have won that game. So Valencia just looking really terrible just now. The coach, he's only just arrived. He's not happy at the transfer dealings. And Real Sociedad, I think Martin made the perfect point. They're getting their key players back. They've had a solid start to their season and they're only getting better. Some of the injuries, the coronavirus outbreak, that's in the past. They're getting players back. They're at home and they're against a really terrible Valencia side. I fancy them to win it and to win it quite comfortably.
Yeah, and the other thing you've got to look at when you look at Valencia is they won 4-2 early on against Levante, but Levante could have maybe taken plenty more out of that game because they missed chances when they were in the game, and it was only the late goals that gave Valencia maybe just complimented them. Just what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, what's the word I'm looking for?
Flattered them. Flattered. Sorry, them, I think. Flattered maybe.
Flattered them.
Flattered them. That's exactly what. See, that's the team game, not just numbers here. I need like literature as well. So that's good. I'm happy with that. Yeah, flattered them. Now, Huesca, and we've got Huesca down as being a team that are probably going to be better away from home because of the way they play. They want to play counter-attack. They get men behind the ball, but they've got good pace in wide areas. So it was no surprise to me that they actually picked something up in Valencia. But at home, plus 550, draw plus 265, and Atletico at minus 140. A lot of people are just going to go, Atletico scored 6 at home. They are going to absolutely crush them because Huesca, they're not going to be able to come out, Euan.
Yeah, although I suppose that's the thing is with no fans in the stadium, maybe that's a little bit different this season. But yeah, I think you have to go with Atletico in this one. They put on a show. The only thing with Atletico, let's take it with a pinch of salt, it was against the Granada side who rested a few players. Their priority right now is the Europa League. They're playing every Thursday, trying to make it to the group. So they did rest some players, and a lot of those goals came towards the end, sort of in garbage time. So, yeah, I'm taking this 6-1 of Atletico with a pinch of salt. But they did look good, and Suarez looked really good, and he came off the bench. I reckon he starts this one, and he's exactly the kind of player you want in Huesca. It's a tough team to go to. Suarez will thrive on that, and yeah, I think don't complicate it. Atletico to win. Yeah, I really fancy them to do so.
Okay, we've got 67 live watching. We appreciate every single one of you. Now, I would like you also just to give a little thumbs up to the boys who have plenty of homework over the weekend to try and give us the best edge. And also, what about you go to a movie, you like the movie, you go to your friend and you go, hang on, I saw a great movie, you want to go and see it. What about saying, I see this great video, La Liga, they're unbelievable, the boys, especially that host. Go and watch it. Okay, Martin, Atletico win, don't complicate it.
Yeah, that host is a real matinee idol, but I'm also going I'm also going for the away win in this one. I think it's a very good set of odds on Atletico Madrid. It's going to be a tough game. We've seen so far from Huesca that they're up for a fight. They get stuck in. I can't see too many teams blowing them away this season, but still think they're going to be struggling near the bottom of the table. Atletico do draw too many games on the road, so it is a little bit risky, but like you, and I think that the addition of Suarez could be the difference. He's the sort of player that thrives in tight spaces. He's got the quality to unlock this stubborn defence, and if you get Joao Felix running past the last man, lots of options. I think they'll can win this, and I'm going for over 1.5 goals as well, just because I think they're going to be full of confidence after that big victory at the weekend, and once they build up a bit of momentum, they can take them apart.
Yeah, because they've got proper players coming from off the bench and obviously the competition from places. I don't fancy there's any Martin Classic now. If you're new, the Alex Classic is both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. The Martin Classic is a team to win and under 4.5. Mine is just, it loses. All right. Anyway, here's a team that we all like. They're so good. I just wish their squad was a little bit stronger because they're going to be fighting on 3 fronts this year. Sevilla at -190, draw +350, and Levante at +590. Martin, I like this Levante side away from home. I think they've got plenty to offer. Sevilla, they showed me yesterday that they were a little bit tired. They needed the depth of the squad. So I've got a little surprise for this game. But Sevilla, I think, win.
Ooh. Okay, yeah, I'm going for Sevilla to win this one as well. I think they did look a bit leggy in that game at the weekend, yesterday, sorry. But that was obviously because of that Super Cup game against Bayern Munich where they had to play 120 minutes against arguably the best team in the world.
Yeah.
Against Levante, I think they should be quite comfortable. Levante are an ambitious team. They take risks. They're fun to watch. They're not like Valladolid at all. But I think Sevilla are pretty solid at the back. They should be able to contain them. They've got quality players in midfield. I think they should dominate possession. And the likes of a Campos, I think they can open up this Levante defence. I'm not going for a huge scoring game in this one. I'm never really going for that with Sevilla just because they lack an out-and-out goal scorer. De Jong scored when he came off the bench at the weekend. Well done, but still I think they're going to miss too many chances. So it's always going to be the Martin Classic for me when Sevilla are playing. Sevilla to win under 4.5 goals.
Under 4.5. I don't think either side keeps a clean sheet. So I think this is the Alex Classic at +125 here, Euan.
Yeah, I've got to agree. Levante are a team that they just go for it. They throw no caution to the wind. A 3-1 win away from home for them this weekend away at Osasuna. And they didn't play any centre forwards, but don't be fooled. They had lots of attacking players and they just threw them all forward. They go for it. Levante they don't like to draw. They like to win or lose. So I think they go for it against Sevilla. A Sevilla side, like we're saying, a little bit leggy. They had that tough game in Budapest, the Super Cup, another game at the weekend, and here we go again. And Lopetegui, he's the coach who last season rotated his side the least. He has his starting 11. He likes it, but it's not the World Cup. You can't just play the same 11 for 6 or 7 games. This is a long season. Games coming thick and fast, and Sevilla are going to be in the Champions League. So maybe he has to rotate, or maybe he doesn't, and that leaves a few tired players out there for Levante. For Morales in particular, he was great against Osasuna. Maybe he can exploit a slightly tired defence, because this Levante side run and run and run. So I like Levante to score, but Sevilla to score 2, and Sevilla probably to edge it. Maybe this is a 2-1, 3-1 kind of thing, and Martin will be open, not 4-1.
3-1.
No, definitely not. Yeah, we don't want no 4-1s for Martin. The big thing I like about Sevilla, and even though yesterday, and I know it's easier after the event, but they were 1-0 down, but I saw that they were passing the ball maybe at 75-80% of their normal tempo, but they were passing it around. They were getting chances. They were snatching at half chances. I knew that the time would come that they would put one away, and once they put one away, then obviously they'd go on and win the game. And obviously it took a little bit longer than I thought, but at the end of the day, we got there in the end. Now the last game is Villarreal at -170. No, thank you. Draw +310, and Alaves at +520. Euan, I don't like any of these, and I certainly don't like the visitors.
Yeah, I don't think any of us have really been sitting on the fence until now, but here we are at the last game, and that's exactly what I'm good to do, because we're 3 weeks in, but these are 2 teams with new coaches still trying to find their feet. I just don't know what you're going to get from Villarreal. They've looked good at points, then they've looked terrible at other points, like we saw at the Camp Nou. And Alaves are the same. They've got Pablo Machin. I just don't really see him as a coach for this squad. He started trying to play a back 3 halfway through the second game. He switched to a back 4. He played the back 4 this weekend. He just doesn't seem to know what he wants to do yet with this squad, and that's why I don't know what to do with this game. So this is one that I'm not really going to touch, because these 2 teams, we don't know who they are yet. They're still working on their identities.
No, I totally agree. And Martin, sometimes that we say very, very often that the pass is the best option. And in this game, I'd be very surprised if this is not a pass.
Yeah, I think the pass is definitely the best option in this game, Flash. It does actually seem like a sensible decision to revert to a back four for Alaves, because I was told that he's so unyielding in the back three that he likes that he's never going to do it. But good to see a slight bit of adaptability, because it looked like he didn't have the players to fill the system. Villarreal would be totally dejected after that 4-0 defeat against Barcelona. Could have been heavier. It was just training ground stuff in the second half. They took a foot off the pedal and just cruised to victory. Getting my metaphors mixed there, I think. But end of the day, passing this game looks like it could go either way.
Here we go, because this is Claudio's favourite part of the show. He said, nearly banker time. Okay, well, Fabian, stick up our selections for this week, please. And Martin, obviously, why it's up there, you can obviously see it. Just give me your banker if I mention it. So you've got Sociedad at -125. I think that's closer to -140 now, by the way. Getafe, both teams to score at +115. Atletico at -145. Barca to win and over 1.5 at -116. And Sevilla and under 4.5 at 116. Martin, is there a banker amongst them?
I'd probably be leaning towards Real Sociedad for my banker. Just
okay, but that's leaning.
Yeah, I'd rather just do a parlay of Atletico Madrid to win and Sevilla to win. That would be a good one, I think. Okay,
then that's what we'll do. We know banker for you. You're going to go Atletico to win, and you're going to go with Sevilla to win just on their outrights. Now, Euan, Sociedad -1 Asian handicap. Just like myself over the weekend at +125. That's beautiful. Athletic Club Bilbao at -135. Barca, both teams to score at -135. And Elche at +415. And I wouldn't put anyone off a little Elche +1.5 or Elche double chance. Do you have a banker amongst them, Euan?
Yeah, as I was saying before, I really do like Real Sociedad, but my banker out of the four there on the screen for me is Bilbao. I really think simple home game against Cadiz side that hasn't impressed. Keep it simple, Athletic to win.
Okay, well, there's mine now is Madrid, win to nil at +100. Sevilla, Alex Classic at +125. Come on, Levante, do what you do. Score one, let him fall. 3, sorry, because obviously Martin's got the under 4.5. Freudian slip. And Sociedad, I'm going back to the well again. If it's not broke, doesn't need fixing. Sociedad to win and over 1.5 at +100. So my banker is Madrid. So we need the two teams. We're not putting it forward to anything else. It's just a 2-team parlay. Are we happy with Atletico just to win and Sevilla just to win, Euan?
More than Sevilla, I'd maybe go for Real Sociedad or Athletic if we're just picking to win. But Sevilla up there as well as one of the teams that I think are massive favourites this week. But yeah, I'd go with Real Sociedad or Athletic ahead of Sevilla, just because, like we said, that tiredness maybe this shows in this game.
Okay, so we're going to go with Atletico from Martin, and we're going to go from Sociedad from Euan, and I agree with both of them. So that's great. Now, if you like this video, and how can you not? We're over 10 units of profit in just 3 skinny weeks. It's the most profitable show out of every soccer show that we do on air at the moment. So if you enjoyed it, please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell. And remember to tell your friends, and we'll get them in and we'll have a bit of a laugh and see if you can give us a little bit more guidance. Press the button and we'll make sure that you never miss any content. And we'll press the link in the description. That'll take you over to all the articles wrote by Martin, by Tan, by Alex and by Dave. Gives me time to say, great weekend of football ahead. We will see you again on Friday for La Liga. But don't forget, Premier League show on Wednesday and the Bundesliga and Serie A. Very tough leagues. And that will be on Thursday on sportsbookreview.com. So please enjoy. Thanks, Euan. You take care. Thanks, Martin. I'll see you again soon on Wednesday for you. Enjoy. And by the way, great game on the NFL tonight. It's the Ravens versus Super Bowl champs, which is the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll be doing live line. I'll be there. Heart says Chiefs. Head says Ravens. It's a tough old game. You take care.